Dedicated, determined, dependable. This is News 10 ABC in the morning.
No trust. The relationship the Village of Hoosick Falls officials have with the company responsible for the PFOA contamination is now being brought into question.
It is crunch time. Less than a dozen primaries left. Big wins for Bernie Sanders. But is it enough to beat Hillary Clinton?
There's a killer. There's a killer.
What caused a man to go on a deadly stabbing rampage? Nicole's tracking that story for us, and it is an unbelievable one.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
Coming up for you in just a moment. Good morning, everyone. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
That was my computer.
Computer's saying good morning, too.
Right on cue.
Nailed it.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, good morning. Let me tell you what's happening outside, guys. This morning, it's another brisk start. Frost advisory is still in effect until 7 a.m. for the areas surrounding the Hudson Valley. That does include Glens Falls and the Saratoga area, into southern Vermont, the Berkshires, and the Taconic Hills of eastern New York. Frost is not likely this morning in the Capital Region or Hudson Valley, but let me show you the latest temperature. 41 in Albany, 36 in Latham, 39 in Clifton Park right now. Knox at 39. Cobleskill waking up with frost. They're at 32 degrees. And into the Adirondacks, it's certainly a brisk start, but yesterday morning was a little bit colder than it is right now in most spots. North Creek right now at 34 degrees. Might need to bundle up the kids a little bit this morning. May need your heater in the car, but grab your shades as well because it is going to be another bright and sunny day. Beautiful, actually, this afternoon. Just a little warmer than yesterday. Coming up, I'll show you when this pattern will change and when we'll see that chance for rain coming back. That's in a few minutes. Christina, Ryan.
Thank you, Nick. Breaking overnight, a more than 4-hour standoff ending with one person in custody.
State police tell us they were called to a home on Holden Avenue in Queensbury where the man was barricaded inside. Police blocked off the area, used megaphones to yell at the guy, tried to get him on the phone or to come out.
Eventually, they were able to get him out. That was around 2:30 this morning. He's now in custody. But state police tell us too soon to comment on charges. And when asked if there were any injuries, police also said no comment. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. Also breaking overnight, at least one person dead, several others injured after a stabbing rampage in Massachusetts.
Nicole's tracking this, has the latest on the suspect who is just being identified now.
Yeah, we know who did this. We also know now that 3 people are dead in this. Investigators still trying to gather information, though, at several scenes, trying to figure out what caused the knife-wielding man who's been identified as Arthur DeRosa to go on a rampage inside that mall. The attacks coming after the 28-year-old allegedly killed another person inside a home. It all started with a car crash in a neighborhood. He broke into a home and stabbed 2 women. One died. Then DeRosa drove into the Macy's at the mall. He drove his car right into the front of the store. He went to a restaurant, to a Bertucci's, where he also stabbed several people.
All of a sudden, people are hollering, there's a killer, there's a killer. He came from the back of the restaurant, and he was walking towards the front light, and as he was coming, he was slashing people, and people were throwing chairs at him and stuff.
An off-duty deputy sheriff ended the carnage. DeRosa was shot one time. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Authorities said that if not for the deputy sheriff's actions, there might have been even more victims.
Well, the water contamination crisis continuing to plague people in the village of Hoosick Falls.
This morning, skepticism over the relationship between the village and one of the companies being held responsible for that water contamination.
Samantha Damasio is live there this morning. Sam, what are people so upset about?
Well, Ryan, a lot of people here are telling us that they feel like they just can't trust anything they're being told by the village anymore. They were supposed to be refunded for 6 months' worth of water bills. Still haven't seen any of that money. They're still waiting on those blood tests. Results still not in, and they should have been by now. And they say they're growing curious as to why the mayor and St. Gobain have grown so close. As the village continues to work out an agreement with the corporation to resolve the crisis that they're believed to have created, people who live here have learned that the attorneys negotiating for the village are being paid by St. Gobain. News 10 asked the mayor if that posed a conflict of interest.
No, it does not, because we have made substantial progress. Again, we have a temporary system in place and it's operational. All of our sampling is showing non-detect.
Now, pool season is right around the corner. What the Department of Health has to say about the safety of that water, that's coming up. But for now, we're live in Hoosick Falls. Samantha Damasio, News 10, ABC.
Bennington, blood testing for those affected by PFOA there will continue at the Health Department District Office. The registration period was extended after the chemical was found in more water sources. The testing is free, but it could take a while to get the results. Governor Cuomo says he's going to throw the book at 2 former aides if a federal investigation ties them to a bid rigging operation. Joe Percoco is a former secretary and campaign manager to the governor. Todd Howe is a lobbyist. Both are at the center of a bid rigging investigation connected to Cuomo's economic development programs. Yesterday, the governor announced he will launch his own investigation into the matter. And now to the race for the White House. Bernie Sanders picking up 2 more wins in Nebraska and in West Virginia. But is it enough to beat Hillary Clinton? So, Nicole joins us now with the latest on what to expect.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders is celebrating once again this morning, Christina, riding another wave of momentum as the campaign now moves west. He admits, though, his chance of winning the nomination is narrow. He knows that, but he has said he is used to uphill battles. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton, she's looking toward November and debating Donald Trump. She's just 145 delegates away from clinching the nomination. She made no mention on the results or Bernie Sanders from West Virginia, focusing her attention instead on Kentucky next week and California in June. Donald Trump also continues to campaign in hopes of reaching that magic number to officially get him the GOP nomination. He's also betting on a general election race against Clinton.
Right now, this country is stalled so badly, and taxes are going to go down, and that's one of the ways we're going to get it to work.
Trump will take a break from the campaign trail later this week. He'll be in Washington Thursday for a meeting with top Republican Party leaders in an effort to unite the party behind the presumptive nominee. Stay with News 10 ABC on air and online for the very latest on the race to the White House.
Well, new this morning, take a look at this. A train derailment just north of Kansas City, Missouri. The area is now closed off while crews clean up the 8-car mess, which sent lumber everywhere. It's expected to be all cleaned up by 7 o'clock this evening. All train traffic will be diverted for the day, clearly. Back at home, crews are trying to figure out what happened moments before a car lost control, clipping a swimming pool, going through 3 yards, and eventually ending up in a house. Check out the pictures right here, this video. Police say it happened around 8:30 last night in East Greenbush. It started on Jefferson Avenue when the car lost control and ended up in this house right here. No word yet this morning on the condition of that driver.
New this morning, the state attorney general wants people battling addiction or mental illness to contact him for help, the state attorney general. It's all to help people who are having a hard time getting their health insurance companies to pay for treatment. He says under a 10-year-old law, the companies must provide coverage that is at least equal to coverage for other health conditions. Now, to contact the AG's office, you can use the number that you see right there at the bottom of the screen. A new task force will be formed to fight the growing heroin and opioid epidemic across New York State. Experts in healthcare, drug policy, advocacy, and education will hold public sessions and then recommend what action should be taken. Today in West End Lake, there will be a memorial walk and candlelight vigil to remember people who have lost their lives to addiction. The walk will start at 6:30 tonight at West End Lake Elementary School. There will be a brief ceremony to discuss ways to promote awareness and provide education to reduce the stigma that's associated with addiction.
2 people are now charged with rape after being found in Illinois and Florida, then brought back to the capital region to face the charges. Saratoga Springs police say back in 2014, 22-year-old Caitlin Fox had sex with a boy under the age of 13. Police say 40-year-old Nicholas Beer knew about it and let it happen. Well, we're now getting a look at the man police say caused a local school to go into lockdown. They say Rodney Burnett right here was waving a stick and yelling at traffic on Route 50 in Ballston Spa. When they got there, they say Burnett then took a swing at one of them and fled the scene. He was eventually caught. No officers were hurt.
The New York State Assembly has voted to outlaw discrimination against transgender people once again. An executive order signed by Governor Cuomo last year made it illegal to discriminate against transgender people for jobs, loans, schools, and public accommodations. It's the 9th time they've passed the measure, which remains hung up, though, in the state Senate. New York may soon designate the nation's first federal monument dedicated to gay rights. People gathered to discuss whether the Stonewall Inn should become a national monument. It was the site of the 1969 riots, which launched the modern gay rights movement. It was officially designated a city landmark last year, but some New York City officials want it designated a national historic site.
We are calling on President Obama to designate a national monument here and to give this history a place in America's park system.
The Obama administration is now looking into designating Stonewall as a National Historic Site, along with Christopher Park, which sits just across the street from that bar. 6:10 right now. All right, here's something you don't see every day.
Okay.
Do you see it? That is a gator claw in an ashtray.
Yeah, still ahead. Find out where the rest of the gator was found. And also, check this out. An Uber driver stuck in a sinkhole with a family sitting in the back of the car. What caused that? Coming up on how they broke free.
That's not fun. Here's a look outside, and it's beautiful out there. You're going to love today. It's a cool start, but it's going to be gorgeous. More on your forecast with Nick. Wake up with 10 coming up.
You're watching News 10 ABC. Dedicated, determined, dependable.